Hello and welcome to the NONSENSUS. I'm here with my friend who I haven't spoken to in some time, Billy Mays the Third, Infinite Third, the Remember You
Hello.
Were Dreaming guy.
That's right. Hello. Hello, Jack. What is the new name? Is there a
That's
new
not
name?
my no, that's not my name. He's referring to a burner Facebook account that I've made so that I can still utilize Facebook as a tool without having to have all of the. That's not me. So it's
I
Jack.
picked up on that. I knew. Yep.
Yes, so I can have the tool without the responsibility to ever reply to anyone because I can just say this is not Zach.
I love that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's really dishonest, but in an honest way. However, yeah, wait, how are you now? Before I ask, how have you been?
Right now, I'm good. I did some music streaming today for about an hour. It was very successful, and I'm waiting for a baby to come out of my partner's body anytime now in the next 3 weeks.
A baby to come out of her body. By today's understanding of what denotes it being your baby, that's gonna you're gonna be a dad.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes, I'm excited.
How soon?
The due date is 10/14, so it's like 3 weeks away, and I'm hoping for a 10/10/2020 baby.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna try to induce on that day. I'm gonna pop a LaCroix real quick if you hear a weird sound.
I got bubbly waters in my car and I didn't. Oh, geez, that makes me want it even more. What flavor?
Natural.
I've got
Yeah.
Gelfling essence flavored.
Gelfling.
Essence. Yes. So you're drinking Gelfling essence and you're gonna be a father, and you've been doing a lot of streaming on the internet.
Yep.
Is there any reason why I've noticed that more people have been gravitating towards doing things online as opposed to in the flesh?
I don't know. It seems everybody at the same time just stopped going out and stopped touring.
Wow.
You know, we're in sync in the new world. 4D, 5D.
We just induced it. We just decided that we would do that. Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah.
What do you find? What have you found to be the difference in your experience doing the digital get down as opposed to at the places with the people?
Man, back in March or whatever, I think I just, as soon as shit started getting weird, I was just like, my partner was pregnant and we were just like, okay, let's just decide to stay home for the rest of the year, no matter what happens, even if they start saying things can happen again. So I was like, all right, I'm done touring. And I put my gear up in the living room. I took over the living room as like a studio now. And I just thought it was time to hibernate and beam out to the world, same way you're doing with this and with other things. But I found that at the beginning it was like people were just wanting to watch things, but now everyone's doing things online, and I feel like nobody cares anymore. So I've stopped caring about how many people are watching or whatever, and I just do it as like my practice.
So you're suggesting we should have a monthly world shifting crises is happening so that we can do different innovative shit and be excited about it.
Yeah, like a new virus every month or something would be great.
About it.
Yeah.
And they can do different weird stuff, you know, that instead of being like they can just like one that makes you you're really excited about the sunset or sun and sunrises.
It'd be sick if there was one that it actually only transferred via digital, via social media. And so we all had to go out into the world to avoid it. And there were no streams for like 9 months.
That would put us in a pickle because the other one would still be around then.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. What have you been doing? What's your life?
Similar. I'm not pregnant to my knowledge.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the isolation quarantine aspect at first, to be totally honest.
Me too.
Um, I feel like I put years on my life from I felt like I had no choice but to try to sow wild oats as much as I could in the world, and there was no option of stopping.
Mhm.
And then I was kind of forced to, and really the most psychologically difficult part was when it was time to go back out into the world, or yeah.
Yeah. Have you been going out in the world?
So I I have been doing, I wouldn't say a lot, but I've been having little outdoor gatherings around bonfires mostly. Like it's
Nice.
really the archaic revival around here, like of yeah, almost all social situations have been outside around a bonfire. Uh,
Mhm.
I moved back to Detroit. I spent the initial quarantine at my mother's in a suburb of Detroit called Sterling Heights, and that was pleasant for a bit, but then got a bit stir crazy, and I live in this really enjoyable loft, and my roommate is a really great visual artist and skater boy, and just really special lad who's just we're very encouraging of the art stuff, and that's got to wake up in an environment where it's not just like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Not that I was in an environment of like really that sort, but just to be really encouraged and to of just being around. Yeah, we're arting. We're that's what we
Mhm.
do. And to
Yeah.
it's really great to subtract normalcy, quote unquote, human behavior, commerce, rat race sort of stuff, like is actually kind of rarely in my peripheral as of the last, it's been like 6 months.
Yeah.
That'll really change your, consciousness experience. Like this stuff that we can, because you're having so much sighing moments of like, oh, if only the world, if only the masses. It's like I don't get hit with too much hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what have you been I mean, I don't have we don't have to answer, but what have you been doing, like, for to eat? Like,
A lot of
what's
potatoes.
your situation?
That well, I'll shamelessly say there was an unemployment thing that
No,
opportunity.
I did it too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was. I mean, that's the move, right? It's like
That's
not going to
that's
get political, but that's the if you're going to tell everybody to stay home, yeah,
yeah, that's the universal basic income that we got right now.
yeah, that yep, felt right. Felt like
Yeah.
yeah, it was like there's the feelings of undeservingness are a part of the array of what one feels in a month when they've received money from the governments, or our own money back, it could be said. Um and but then you lean into that. It's like, no, I'm like doing a service to the world right now. I'm staying away.
Mhm.
I'm to be safe, and to let myself become a saner a saner mental emotional situation to be a better citizen onward, you know.
Yeah. I've seen huge proof that UBI would work just by some of my friends that didn't have to, like, bust their ass for a couple weeks for the first time in maybe 10, 15 years, and they started, like, making art and just being better people all around because 'cause they're not exhausted all the time. Personally, I didn't actually get the unemployment until, like, a month ago. It wouldn't let me do it for some reason. I was doing it wrong. I was applying wrong, and then, I figured out what I was doing wrong, and then so I only collected, like, 2 months worth or something like that. And now I've stopped because I'm getting, like, Patreon money and stuff again. Or not that I wasn't, but I collect in the times when I'm not getting Patreon money,
Mm,
like the weeks that I'm not, just because I have a business. So the, uh, the IRS people are looking at me sometimes at
mm,
things.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just blossoming into my becoming a uh, financially literate, and really, to be honest, even participant for the last however so long, since a teenager. It's just been like, how do I get to the next thing that I want to do that requires money? Okay, I got to this month. I got just figuring it out,
Oh yeah.
and the most time of boom is just like being a few hundred in the black. It's just been varying between this much in the red and this much in the black, and then there was a short period of time of like, oh, this is what it feels like to have a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's immediate sense of like well, yeah, it has to settle in, but the safety, which leads to an all around mental health improvement, and a feeling of that I'm a participant and member of a neighborhood community
Yeah.
instead of something like just trapped in a
It's the
captive.
machine.
Yeah.
You're a gear in the machine.
I wish that I wish that for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fatherhood.
Yeah.
Are you do you have any idea what you're in for? Are you looking into what others are saying? My friend just said to me the other day, he recently became a dad, and he's like, oh yeah, all the cliches that you hear and all of like the really gushy stuff and all of the poetic ways of putting it, it's all super true.
Yeah. No, I think that's kind of what I'm preparing for is like I don't know. I think it's nice that I don't have to tour now and I can just kind of do this. I'm actually looking forward to like not having as much free time because I sometimes have so much free time that I beat myself up about what I'm not using it for.
Yeah,
So I feel like if I fill that time with like getting to know a new being that I created or that I co-created, I feel like that's gonna be nice. I don't know. I think personally, like where we're at right now is the birth process is just this giant black hole mystery of like, what is that going to be like? And is it going to be ridiculous? Otherwise, it seems like it's just going to be a slow process of what we've been doing, which is preparing for the baby. I'm in the room right now with like a crib and stuff, and we're ready to do that. So, and I did prepare my studio. I was upset, or I was scared because I thought that it was gonna be too loud when I play music in the living room and it echoes throughout the whole house. But I was able over the past couple of weeks to make a setup that's completely headphone based and it's still my same Infinite Third music. So I think I'll be taking hour-long breaks here and there to just stream every day if I can.
Those baby laugh samples.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know how long until they make a sound. We'll see. I mean, I guess they're gonna be crying. She's gonna be crying.
I imagine their sounds right away, unless it's like the messianic level of tender and mildness.
Oh, I got to tell you about this thing I heard about called elimination communication, and it's apparently you can 3 weeks after the baby's born, you could start potty training them by like holding them over the toilet, and they'll start giving you cues about when they have to poop. And I just thought it was crazy. I saw this photo of this like 3-month-old baby just like fake sitting on the toilet, like smiling. But apparently it's just about they start to communicate with you about you start to understand the cue of like, oh, this is a poop cry, and they wait. And babies are actually equipped to hold they don't want to poop in their diaper and like sit in their own soiledness. So apparently the diaper like makes them lose their ability to hold it, and then that's why potty training is like harder later on. So there's these people who believe that you should just poop them in the toilet from the beginning.
God damn it with your diaper, your crutch.
Yeah. It's treating them wrong. Hey, so what's the word? I just heard that there was like a rogue Burning Man that happened of like a couple thousand people who were just like, fuck it, we still do it.
Oh, wow. Well, we had a little Burning Man Detroit, right over like there, actually.
Official or just?
Oh, well, what does official mean? No, we built an effigy. Ours had a wizard hat and wings, and danced around it. Largely, the amount of people around, I imagine several or maybe even half or most of them had, maybe didn't even know what Burning Man is. People tend to know what that is, but
yeah.
But yeah, but hadn't been, and I personally like that. I like the barrier of entry for things that I appreciate, that I think have the capacity to turn humans on to
Yeah, just let them
more
in.
meaningful experiences. Yeah, I like.
There's a subreddit called Gates Open, Come On In, and it's
Mm,
examples of people just it sounds like it's about to be like a gatekeeping moment. And it's like, if you wear cargo shorts, I bless you for being able to carry so much, and you should be able to wear them forever every day. And it's
that's
shit
great.
like that.
Yeah, because there's so much if you this, then you're that
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what did the organization say about Burning Man? Did they canceled it, right? Like
Oh
officially,
yeah,
or
there wasn't to that where they they'll collect the money and do the things, and there's all the intricate. I mean, it's man, I feel like everybody who has their theater bazaar in Detroit is the massive, most elaborate, greatest masquerade on earth, greatest Halloween party that happens in reality. It's the greatest goddamn thing, and it's been every year and 2 weekends as of the last few years, and that when that got canceled, that and Burning Man were the two things that like really bummed me out. Pretty much everything else, to be honest, was like, oh no, also Playthink Festival. But for the most part, almost everything else that got canceled that I was supposed to do and that I usually do in my summer, my reaction was, huh, well, we'll do other stuff,
yeah.
and yeah, and I'm glad that I'm wired that way. I think it's just that, man, it really showed me how much I didn't feel like I had the option to not.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I needed a break from touring, and I didn't know that I was allowed to. And so, yeah, now I did, and it was great.
Oh God, yeah, it's and then there's obviously a spectrum of extremities with everything. There is such a thing as doing too little.
Mhm.
There's certainly a thing as doing too goddamn much.
Mhm.
And maybe I wasn't doing too much before, but gosh, was it good to do nothing for a while.
Yeah. Are you back to feeling like you wanna get out there, though? Is that how you're
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
feeling?
yeah. I figure. Well, I've rewired my truly felt value system when it comes to things like fame, quantity, success. Like I used to think that I wanted to, and then that became that I had to because it was such a pragmatic tool to increase one's signal, get more known or more
Mhm.
widely known, more numbers. That I used to think that that first used to think that I truly wanted that, and then for a while it was like I got to do that because I got to get this out there. I got to do that. I want this to be my career. That has to happen. Now I'm thinking more that both what I really want and what I you know quote unquote should do, or what would be best, um, is to really dial it in. Like I want to bring the world the magical turtle musical, magical turtle medicine, my friend Fractal the turtle. And I want that to be the barrier of entry for that is you exist and it finds you or you find it,
Mhm.
and just that as much as I don't want to make it difficult for people, children ages 0 to 136. At 137, Fractal stops singing to you. Um,
Mm. I didn't know.
that we just oh yeah, that's the cutoff point. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't want to have a barrier of entry with that is money or being able to come to Michigan or wherever I am. I want to help get that as to everywhere possible and as thoroughly as intimately as possible. So there'll be things that, I'm kind of I'm thinking this is just yes I'm not just spitballing. I'm really rolling this snowball up down hills. It's I'm momentum of this being what I want to do, the move I want to make. Is that then the nonsense man stuff that is getting really racy and weird and spookier by the moment. Like I'm really
Okay.
leaning into, and so I was so conflicted for a while. It's like I'm gonna do this wholesome thing is family friendly, almost could be said for children, or the child in all of us. And then other people are going to see me doing this thing, and now he's this Gunther Mogdale, the conscious cowboy, and he says some real off the wall shit about fuck around and find out and all that stuff. And then like that would be create like an emotional whiplash for people, and like a real confusion about me, and like the bad kind of controversy, the bad kind of trouble of like a lot of people judging me and stuff like that. So it was causing me so much distress of like this choice of which one I'm going to do, that now it's like, oh no, I got to figure it out. This is the one that
Oh,
we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay.
so you're saying that you are going that direction of you have one persona or whatever that is raunchy or do whatever, and one that is just by nature family friendly and accessible, and you don't have a problem anymore with the two.
No, it's not that I don't have a problem. I think that there is a matter of keeping the marinara sauce out of the mashed potatoes to a degree.
Yeah.
Which is keeping the dark, spooky, shadow worky, jester, Joker vibes out of Turtle to a degree.
Mhm.
But what I've decided is I've got a way, and it's a secret, for those to be able to access intimate, small intimate experiences with the Nonsense Man, that now I perceive as a mode that I have, that's part of me that I go into, as opposed to I am the Nonsense Man. I have that. I can do
Mhm.
that. But I wish to control and harbor that, and then unleash it for those who perhaps pay the entrance fee. We're working on it. Working on that. Doing read like these retreat more sort of things. And I'm not, and what's really, really great is to even have these considerations of like, I'm really considering, do I want to do festivals? Is that,
Yeah. I don't know. Is there a digital component to all this, or to both of those things?
yeah, well,
Obviously, I think content is going to happen no matter what. But what's a digital offering of the Nonsense Man?
yeah, we're working on a way of which it's like, I've wanted to do something that is kind of a parody / most sincere manifestation that has ever existed of a sort of life coachy sort of thing. But it's like, well, how do you market that I'm a nonsense man who doesn't know, but I'm going to somehow help you do or embody something.
I
And
think it totally works.
yeah. Because there's a lot of folks who can help you do with this, put a thing there and win the this and increase the numbers. But there's a lot of people who really, what they lack is what I have a obnoxious overabundance of, in the ways of passion and interest and nonsense.
Yeah.
Yourself, has your ideal changed, of your ideal way for Infinite Third, Mouth Council, Remember Our Dreaming to go, because of this?
Yeah. Well, Mouth Council, I have totally just put into sleep mode,
Oh, wow.
just because of the exchanging of saliva that happens when that activity happens.
That's a thing, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in Asheville. I was playing a show at Mandala Springs in Asheville. Oh, there you go. You left. I'm sure you'll be back in a moment. Hopefully. Well, it's just me now. Not sure where Zachary went. I'm sure he'll be right back. There he is.
Jeez Louise.
What's going on over there?
It's just internet, man. I'm sure you are to tell you technical difficulty is like a part of this.
Yeah. I actually had to get some other company to come out and give us like fiber optic internet for cheaper actually than what I was paying before. So that was nice. So I have like very fast internet now.
So anyway, the exchange of spittle.
Yeah. So I was in Asheville at Mandala Springs on March 11th, which was the night that Trump he who shall be named, uh, went on TV and did the international ban, and the same day that they canceled NBA, NFL, and all that, and the same day that everyone found out that Tom Hanks got the Rona. And at the venue that I was at, it was all, the classic Asheville hippies. And I couldn't bring myself to just like be chill because I was in the middle of a tour wondering if I'm going to just like rush home and, you know, go into survival mode for a while. So I was billed to be Infinite Third in Mouth Council that night. And only about 2 people out of the 30, 40 people there were even like thinking about things were crazy in the real world at the moment. And the other thing was there was no internet at this place. So I didn't know what was going on. So I played my Infinite Third set and no internet, not getting any updates, thinking I'm just going to keep touring, I guess, and I'm just going to be out in the world in different cities while everybody's freaking out. But then there was just like a moment where I saw everybody dancing. I saw the hippies like dancing in like such a free way, and I felt so like happy that they do that. But then I was like, oh man, I can't do Mouth Council. It'd be irresponsible to do Mouth Council with the current state of things right now and the fear going on. So I felt so embarrassed that I had to tell these people that I wasn't going to do Mouth Council, and it made it. I felt so like separated from them at that moment. But anyway, I haven't done it since the night before that, or no, like I haven't done it since Okeechobee, which was the last festival. If you recall, it was like one of the last festivals that happened.
Wow.
It was, and yeah, I had crazy weekend at Okeechobee and played multiple sets and awesome sets. But that was the last Mouth Council, so I'm like putting it to sleep for now. And my vision is that it'll come back in this form where I'll have a mixer with like 8 microphones that goes out into the circle, and everybody holds their own microphone, but only one of them is like unmuted at a time, or maybe 2 at a time, but just like normal would be 1 at a time. But I've always wanted to do a sort of podcast version of Mouth Council, so I think eventually it'll come back as that, where you'll fly in and we'll have a couple guests for a weekend and do some Mouth Council podcasting.
Yeah.
Talking and jamming and, flowing.
It's an interesting game, not to trivialize, but game is in there's a right thing to do and wrong thing to do, and our ability to make sense and gather what is pragmatic as opposed to with doing Mouth Council, it's like will we be able to look around and be like, okay, safe to gather again. I don't think. It's an interesting thing. The intellectual, emotional whiplash of going to places where there's high alert and lots of safety and regard, to go in places where people are like, oh, what? There's been, the COVID thing. Okay, yeah, cool.
What was the Burning Man thing like that you guys did?
Oh, it was outside around a bonfire. I personally like, so, and this is the thing, you gotta kind of like accept the judgment of those who judge you, when their level of I feel safe outside, not getting in huddles,
Yeah, me too. Well, that was socially all I pretty much do is we have friends over and have like porch dinners with them, and that's it. And that's my social satisfaction at the moment. It's been nice because I probably wouldn't do that if it wasn't for that, but I don't miss. I do miss going to like a coffee shop and working on stuff, but I don't know. I guess
it is the time. It is tis the season of I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, about everything, I definitely feel that I'm totally comfortable being a music streamer for the next year, maybe 2, and not playing shows outside of my home. And I'm comfortable with that. And I think that when I finally emerge, I'll have a whole different approach to doing a live show anyway. So it'll be good in that sense.
Samesies for sure. Yeah, there's when you're always doing it and you've got to perform again in a couple of days or a few hours, the time to really be at the drawing board. That's how I noticed I like have so many so there's so many creative ideas that come, but then the execution would actually require some time and thought. I do miss stand-up comedy.
Like doing stand-up comedy or watching stand-up
I was
comedy?
just getting back into doing stand,
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
and
Yeah,
that's
and it doesn't really translate digitally so much. I went to a Zoom open mic night and I played a set on it, but somebody did a stand-up set, and I felt like I really enjoyed it because I was missing comedy, but you could tell the guy was just like, you can't really do it. You
very
can't
much
do your
an
set.
energetic exchange of of very
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, now I guess there's ways to do like chat emojis and stuff, and you could kind of show your enjoyment to the
What's like,
person
I've been
doing.
thinking a lot. That's like what is the real difference between stand-up comedy and video logging? That is yeah, I mean, it's the people in the room, it's the energy exchange, it's the boom, laughter, and it's the knowing,
Mhm.
the being, as somebody says, judged every 15 seconds sort of thing. I mean, that's happening when you're open mic zooming, whatever too. But yeah, I wonder that's gonna do because stand-up comedians are the most well, I don't know about the most, but there's a trope of stand-up comedian as an archetype as a person is addicted to doing it.
Yeah.
It really,
I
really
think that's I
that's
think that's performers
yeah.
in whatever medium there is an element of that. And most musicians who are used to playing for crowds are probably feeling the same way. Like it's just not the same. I'm playing in a room
Well, you
and
can kind of you can there's been performances. My friend Dixon's violin is just doing outdoor socially
yeah,
distanced.
I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really interested in doing like the the transitional shows, whatever those are, being so distanced and weird. Because those last couple shows I played were actually kind of traumatic. Because it was like, are we supposed to be here? Are we supposed to be chatting up close? And
Oh,
like, you know, that's probably not the reason why. I think my reason why is if there's a will we or won't we kind of middle of the road,
yeah,
I'd rather just pick one and be okay with it. So I'm choosing stay home
yeah, that's
and
great. I mean, you got several great reasons. I mean, the baby is
mhm,
is a big beautiful one.
yeah,
That is
she's big.
that is that is a very good reason to take her easy for a little bit.
Yeah. I've as far as ideals about this stuff goes, I have developed a nice little like steady growth. I'm focused more on I actually kind of like went way in on my Patreon and I have like 41 subscribers now. And I appreciate the shit out of these 41 subscribers. And I have been actually exclusively sharing new things with them pretty much at this point. Cause I don't like I was putting them out on Facebook and stuff too, and it just like who cares? But then there's these 41 people that kind of care and they're invested in it money wise, even if it's just 333 a month. But I think that's kind of where I've shifted is like, I don't know. I just want to share like I want there to be a low barrier of entry, but that is Patreon is setting up a barrier in a way. But in some weird way, it's not because as soon as someone gets invested in it, it's like they actually care all of a sudden, as
Yeah.
opposed to popping up on their timeline and being like a trash thing that gets thrown
Oh, yeah.
away
I'm
to
not
their
interested in
attention.
that almost anymore at all. Like, I just
Yeah.
I kinda and I look back at the time and it's like, obviously, no regrets, bro, but, like, I have no interest anymore in, like, catching your attention as you walk by at a festival or well, no, that can be cool because sometimes you
Yeah.
tune in and then you get but yeah, the half-hearted little I was like, "Oh, that's cool. You wanna go to the stage with the thing that we give a fuck about?" Or yeah, or being on a Facebook wall as you're just going, "Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, Cool. Like that's yeah, that doesn't interest me because that's not interesting to me. And I really love how much we're pushing away. Like I love there's that documentary Social Dilemma and the
Yeah,
Great
I watched it a couple days
Yeah.
ago.
It's I would love an increasing signal of let's get our consciousnesses the fuck out of that. Unless or that's what you're looking for, you know.
Well, I think they painted it pretty well though about like how the tool itself wasn't the problem. It was the exploitation of the attention
Mhm,
and in exchange for advertisement and stock prices and stuff like that.
mhm.
And I don't know. I'm looking more forward. I guess this is kind of the Patreon thing, but like when I watched that Social Dilemma documentary, I thought I would totally pay a a monthly micro transaction, even if it's $9.99 a month, for the social media platform that is not there to steal my attention.
Absolutely.
If it was Apple came up with everyone who uses iPhones, I use an iPhone, so I like that, but uh I would be all over it. I'd be like, yeah, I'll add that. I'll add the $5 to my subscription for my cloud storage, and knowing that the algorithm is actually customizable for me, and it's not about feeding me uh, boobs because I look at those longer or something, you know?
Yeah, or memes destroying the cons or the libs, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's that is that definitely all things tend to be double-edged sword Mobius strips of a spherical omnidirectional graph of lots of different stuff going on, but I I I love that we're moving away from the idea that you have thousands of friends, you know,
hmm
or that would be good to have thousands of friends, and that everybody is kind of organic. Well, I would say everybody, but a lot of those we're organically reining it in. Like we don't. I just make it about myself. I didn't. I noticed I didn't want that anymore. I
yeah,
don't. I don't want. I don't want 5,000 people to have communicative access to me. Because then like, it makes it
yeah,
very, very confusing who I am as opposed to what is the, you know, the art and those things. I want those things to be the same thing as much as possible. But yeah, the truth is I don't know, like to get a message at 4 AM like, "Hey." You know?
yeah.
Um,
I don't know. I have a weird sentimentality with like trying to delete people from my social networks. Like even people I've never met, I only know them. Like people I met in Detroit, let's say,
yeah.
at a nonsense night. I probably have like 30, 40 people on my thing that maybe I met half of them, and then the rest of them you posted about me and they friended me. But over the years, I've like seen enough of their name pop up and their avatar that like I get this weird kind of, even if I'm paring down my list, I'm kind of just like, oh no, I care about that person. I really do.
Yeah, I'm gonna reel that in. I was being a little douchey there. I'm very tired. I didn't sleep much
It's
last
not
night.
douchey.
We had a reality the musical the festival last night of a very very small nature around bonfire. Yeah, I guess that is the thing that was a bittersweet and regretful, and I haven't really thought of it. It's almost like when you liquidate when you Marie Kondo your garage, then it's like there might have been some really special stuff in there.
Mhm.
But I really needed a clean garage. Um, yeah, there was folks but that I might have maybe I did like straight up lose some people. Um, but
You got to be okay with that, though. I think ultimately, or else you're just gonna try to pander to everybody
yeah,
with
and
whatever you do.
that's the big thing. I'm not doing that anymore because yeah, the thing that I mean, the idea that's I don't know to be regretful of it and just I have learned from this and take the lesson of like where I used to put my consciousness and attention, but the fact that I used to look at the number, you know, like what I really try to keep my heart and mind, that where the interest and what the intent is like, am I having fun talking to my friend right now? That's why I really love podcasting, is that
Mhm.
it's yeah, it's I love that this is an opportunity to talk to you, my friend, and there's also it feeds the thing that is always like, is there a productive element to this? Did you do
Yeah.
something today? Are you moving towards your goal? You know,
Mhm.
um, and I love this as an art form and a pastime. I just really enjoy it.
Are
Um,
you are you as far as podcasting goes, are you like putting these somewhere or what are you doing?
so as of right now, it streams to the Facebooks and the YouTubes. And I'm really going to take something from this conversation now because I was, I guess, looking for an external permission slip to. I'm thinking too that, gosh, I feel so much stronger about somebody who's making the choice to tune in to me
Mhm.
slash our frequency as opposed to I don't want to ambush anybody anymore. Not into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
did that
agree.
for so long. I would literally hop up on tree stumps at festivals or in the woods and just start rapping or
Mhm.
making mouth sounds of some sort. And I'm not to say that that wasn't there wasn't a lot of beautiful moments, but I'm just not there anymore. I just like I'd like to have the signal be somewhere where it can be seen by passerbys and those that I want to really like give what I'm doing to fully are those who there was a choice. There was a choice and to focus. And I've gotten better at not looking at like there's a number right here of how many people are watching. It's 7 right now. And it used to be so much like, is it worth existing? Oh, it's 6 now. Or yeah, I don't even know if we should continue.
I gotta go.
And yeah, to I mean, that still happens. It's a muscle reflex thing. There was a lot of momentum in that direction, but now I'm really honing in on am I having fun? Am I doing the thing?
Yeah.
And I'm getting closer to how I could monetize things. And I think that the answer that we're finding is there's a thing or two or 12 that you can monetize about what you're doing artistically, and then there's things that will be so much more therapeutic and enjoyable to just let them rip like, I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. I'm doing this for me.
Yeah. Well, I feel for me it's like the streaming is sort of my podcasting, but it's like podcasting with myself
Absolutely. Yeah.
and it's something that I need to do anyway and I want to do. It's my practice session, it's my, you know, jujitsu practice and
Mhm.
then um anytime I just let people tune into that, there is always it's been crazy because for the first time ever I'm streaming with my laptop and going through Streamlabs and having everything right there visible, the numbers, you know? So I don't like that that's like part of my circle now, but I'm having to get to the point where I'm just like, okay, don't look at that number and don't worry about it. Funny enough, I stopped worrying about the number and I started doing this Twitch thing because I want to get off of Facebook for good. And Twitch has been like showing a lot of love just naturally, just a lot of people coming in there and they have these like emotes. Do you know about the emotes?
I would love to get into Twitch.
It's like they have like these emojis that you can customize. And so once you become a partner or whatever, you can have subscribers on there that are like premium subscribers. And one of the things you can offer is that you could have like a Fractal the Magical Turtle emote that they can only get by being your subscriber and they can go use it in other places. They can go use it on other streams and people will be like, where'd you get that Fractal the Magical Turtle? And they'd be like, nonsense guy over here.
Magical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna do
throw
like
out
a
a bid for Twitch. I would love to, and then I would love to participate with you on the Twitches. I just
yeah.
it is a strong important thing to get the fuck off of Facebook. It's like,
You
okay,
could do this on Twitch exactly, and it would be great.
cool.
You could just start episode 1 of the Nonsensus on Twitch and like have it live there. And they actually limit how long it stays up, which I think is cool. It's like slowly deleting itself if you don't keep going live. So if you it's like 14 days, your streams will stay up. And then on the 14th day it'll go away. But you have time to download it or do whatever, record
Mhm.
it. And then I think there's like a premium option where you can save them for 60 days, but I don't know. I'm finding that it's much more people are there to interact with things that are happening live. Whereas Facebook is like, I stumbled onto this live thing. I accidentally clicked in and now I don't want to be rude, but I'll sit here for a minute and then I'll go. So the number went up, number went down. But on Twitch, it's
That
like,
never happens to me. If any of my friends are ever going live, I watch the entire thing so intently, staring right into their deadlights, thinking of nothing but them, breathing as slowly and intensely as I possibly can through the left and right nostril interchangeably. I
Yeah,
love my friends, and I've never told a lie.
true. Truth.
Yeah, this it's a so into non virtual life stuff. You're gonna have a baby child, and
Hopefully,
then
I mean, I can't be sure, but I'm waiting till the day it's there. But yeah, go ahead.
you're gonna have a baby child. You're gonna be a baby's daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, does that infer that you no longer are
I don't think so.
romantically bonded with her? It's just okay. Just being
I think it used to.
the daddy of a baby is just usually referred to when anywho.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be a father, Billy,
Yep.
and then there probably gonna come some reassessments of how to do infinite third, how to do yourself in art going forward. Having the most important thing that I think happens in the human experience be now a part of that to be duty bound to a baby child
Yeah.
for I think you're gonna do it at least. I trust you to do it strongly for at least the first 14 years.
Yeah. Probably. I I don't know. I think I already kind of did my shift. Like I've already shifted like my the and I'm well aware that it's not going to be anything like I thought it was going to be, but the amount that I've done to shift my life in preparation for the baby, I think is like the bigger shift has already happened of my career and stuff like that. So I'm like already down the path of where I'm going to be going for the first couple of years of this baby's life, I think personally, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just thinking about all those like philosophical things about how like babies actually teach you and stuff like that, and I'm kind of ready for that. Like I'm ready for this is going to be a little being that is born in such a futuristic time compared to when I was born
Mhm.
that she'll never know the world of even if we limit her screen time, she'll never know the world of screen time's not available or an option. So we've been thinking about that a lot, and like especially after that social dilemma thing, about like how they show the family dealing with phone addiction. Um, I don't know. That's more my where my head's at is like thinking about how do you parent? How do you what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, do you put in so much of an effort to try to mimic a time before cell phones and VR?
Yeah.
I've been the guy lately at parties, to be honest, who's like, we need, like most of the experiences that we do that have, the irreversible physical consequences. We need to be doing all of that in VR. You want to do a drive-by on a propane tank? You can do it in VR. And
I agree.
yeah, so and
Yeah.
that will change a lot of things for the better. And I'm a big time just hop up on a table and do a river dance and start shouting how much we need UBI because the robots are going to take all our jobs, and good, because human beings doing stuff that is difficult for us, that sucks, that nobody would do if they were not rewarded with money, is like the age of that can end. It's okay. And
Did you see Parasite,
I've
the
watched the
movie?
anime television series, but I have not.
Okay, not the movie Parasite, the South Korean movie.
Okay. Yes.
Um,
I have not seen them
it
film.
won the Oscar for Best Picture or whatever. But
Shall I? Should I?
oh yeah, big time. But I think that if you combine Parasite, like what Parasite is basically about is how the class system, like there's always someone like feeding off of the higher up class all the way up and all the way down, and that's what's happening. So and it's happening more and more like divided down with Uber and the way that all those things work, which I think is the first step of the robots took jobs, was that they got better at dispersing the jobs. So there are no cab drivers anymore. There's just people who have a car and want to drive you somewhere at any moment. And the AI is able to make that happen and make you available to drive someone somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think that we're gonna get to a place where everyone is kind of trading their time to get time from someone else.
I get that. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm
And
for
we'll
that.
be talking less about money, and it'll be all kinds of currencies, and there'll be USA bucks and all this shit, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and there'll be Facebook dollars and Instacart and whatever. But I think that that's what's going to happen is like it's going to happen on such a micro level of even maybe even like social life. I don't even know, like consultation. If you were someone who wanted to um, get on Twitch, and I was a Twitch user, I could offer for pennies of this currency. I could say, well, I offer 60-minute consultations, and then I help you set up your whole thing. And I think that's just what's going to happen. Everything is going to be this very small micro thing. And I hate to say that about social life, but that just popped into my head of like, what if that's what ends up happening is like to message me, it costs 3 pennies, and then you get one of them back if I answer or something like that.
Well, I mean, that's a little further I was gonna go. I had the thought today of like, well, we all need therapy now
Exactly.
intensely, and everybody gets therapy different ways. And there's somebody who could be an excellent at drawing forth the communicative moment that allows someone to feel the feelings they've been putting off about the thing they need to feel the feelings about. There's this, we are different pieces of the puzzle for that for each other. So it's like we kind of need 7 billion therapists.
Yeah.
And we all like exchange for and of different sorts. And yeah, just like so maybe more things get monetized in that way, or like I mean, it's so obvious right now that the move in the US at least is universal basic income as a band-aid. It's like
Yeah.
as
I
a
agree.
what the fuck are we gonna do? Are we just gonna I just
Have you heard any like theories, like economic theories about what's going to happen with I'm sure you sometimes go down the conspiracy rabbit holes and stuff from time to time.
yeah, I feel like I got a strong intellectual self-defense, both against my own naivete that things are going to be easy and optimistic, but also very much I can tell it's like that's what paranoia sounds like.
Yeah. I heard somebody said that I don't even know which podcast it was on, but they laid out this thing of like the way to save the post office is to make it the USA bank, and you can go and get they already have it, the thing when you're at the airport and you can do a faster check-in because your fingerprint is stored or whatever. Do you know about that? It's called like Real ID or something. It's a thing. Anyway, it's a thing they already rolled out. If you enroll in it, your fingerprint goes into some database, and you can kind of like skip having a passport. You could just like be like, hey, here's who I am, and they know. And so it kind of skips a couple steps. So somebody's saying that they're going to unroll some, instead of doing more stimulus and more UBI type things and expanding unemployment, they're going to roll out some kind of Real ID based through the post office. You get like a USA card that's like your federal ID card, but that will be loaded up with like food money. So nobody will ever be hungry. You can use it for certain things, but you can't use it for like, beers and stuff. But anyway,
I could see that being good. I could like yeah, I would really I'm it's like that's what hit me a lot during the hard lockdown points is that it's like, man, it might be real good for a lot of us and experientially detrimental for some of us who are, super addicted to like the need to, do other stuff and get their dopamine in all these different ways. But like how good it might be for me to like just exist for a while.
Yeah.
Not to an effort wouldn't see on seeing that's the reason why I think I get a little. I'm just so not worried about myself having a lack of meaning, or a lack of effort. I think that my productivity skyrockets when I stop trying to connect it to money. Like,
Yeah, me too.
that's what's been interesting to see, like to get like, well, personally philosophical of just like one's own values of like, there's times where I can be working by others folks' definition of what is like, oh, real work in a real job. It's like, man, just 3 months went by and I got this money in the bank. I've been so unproductive though. I haven't had time to
I
do
feel
it.
like our brains are broken a little bit. Like our brains are broken to we still have to separate the money from the art, and we just don't know how anymore. This like what you just said is exactly what I've gone through. Is I've been frustrated with myself of why am I not being more productive? But I'm being productive about like family and you know having a home and grounding. But I feel like my creativity brain was too tied to, well, the goal is to get it to make its own money and make me money. So something happened when the when the unemployment was happening and stuff like that, and my money is taken care of for the most part, at least short term. Like my brain was broken. I was like, I don't know how to be productive if it's not like under the threat of I'll be screwed, I'll be in the red,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't think is a healthy thing for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's a that state of there being a constant sheen, a malaise of worry.
Yeah.
It sucks, and I yeah, and it had to have it come back. Like there was a time with the unemployment and having no expenses, and not going anywhere, not doing anything. That it was like that was the longest I've ever disengaged from that flavor of stress, and that is immense luxury, privilege, lucky thing to have been in that position at all.
Totally.
But now I'm back there already. I'm back to what am I going to do about money? And yeah, and that's it. It's such a fog. It's such a it just fucks everything a little bit. And I'm not a big anti-capitalism, but I think capitalism with caps would be great.
Yeah.
It just needs to be caps, and maybe that
Yeah,
would
I think a UBI with capitalism and with maximums is it. I think that's like the
yeah.
best we're gonna do.
Yeah, you get to a certain point. I like I've seen this articulated in memes. You get to 999 million, perhaps, or like I almost think being a little bit more liberal with it, make it like 10 billion. After your 10 billion
Yeah.
and $1, then it goes into the UBI for those at the, as we say, the bottom, well, of that metric. And yeah, so that we don't have starving desperate people who are gonna fucking at some point have a guillotine party with you. And let's not fuck around and find out what that point is, or see how much unnecessary suffering we can have in the world before we do what is obvious. And it's not the solution. It's a band-aid. We're in a weird time. We're about to.
The other implication about that meme that I've seen a lot too is I kind of like the idea that you should entice the people to win the game so that you can be honored and
Yeah.
give back. Like it would just be, I don't know, instead of, oh, I got to give my money away now. It's like it should be gamified in some way. And it should be maybe there are other side quests of like if you make 100 million and give away 50 million, you get these different things unlocked in perks for life from the government or whatever.
I mean, I'll super applaud you. I'd love to snuggle with somebody who's helping the 1,000 people get fed who weren't gonna, unless you went and did that. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, some of the false and perhaps real dichotomies that are going on now. I'm very glad to not be a sideist.
Yeah.
As far as picking those, I think we got a conversation here, and but that one is just so obvious now, and it's just yeah, and yeah, and yeah, my so many friends I got to see artistically explode with a bit of comfort, and then the new generation of little ones, like, oh man, that's the thing. Can we gestate a generation of consciousnesses outside of the constant worry of the a very illusory lack?
Yeah. I'm not answering. Yeah. I'm saying, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you're just gonna give a hard yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
We can.
I can. In fact, she's
Yeah.
coming in a couple weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, is everything wrong or is nothing wrong at all? And I don't know.
You're gonna be great at dadding for your power of I don't know. I heard this person say that as it was like this might be a quote from a book that isn't out yet, and maybe I'm doing something with social consequences. But anyway, somebody
Stephen
told me
King?
that huh?
Your buddy Stephen King said this?
Yeah. No, somebody who's writing a book about parenting. It made an analogy to psychedelic thing. This is just I think this analogy is really great. Check this out. Being a parent is like babysitting someone who has taken a massive dose of psilocybin and you've taken a mild dose. It's like, I don't know what's best for you, but I pretty sure I shouldn't let you eat the remote control.
That's good. I like that. It actually plays into a lot of the stuff that I've been like finding out scientifically about babies and how they're actually imprinted with such wisdom in their body already. And there's certain things like apparently if the brain's connections were already made when they come out, they'd be like running around and doing gymnastics and stuff. But when a baby's sleeping and they like get really still and then they like twitch, they've done studies and deduced that is the equivalent of a sonar pulse on like a submarine. So like everything's quiet, let's send out the signal, and it connects the electricity that's needed to all the extremities and stuff like that. But they figured out that before that even happens, a baby does know how to attempt to run away from a predator and stuff like that. But it's just the brain hasn't figured it out yet. Like the physical thing hasn't figured it out yet.
Oh,
Yeah, but a baby already knows like pattern recognition. They're prepared for like what gravity is like, even though they're floating around.
They're just lazy. They haven't been put
exactly
in yet. They need to grow the fuck up. Like I know you were talking about the thing of holding him over a toilet, letting him poop. I think they need to be able to, find out what it is to actively avoid traffic.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Nerf ambushes. I saw this baby in a backpack. You're gonna put your baby in a backpack, right? Like a backpack with a
front pack.
Yeah, a hole with holes for arms and face. But it had this net like for deflecting against Nerf attacks. I thought that was great. It's like
for what? For
there was a baby. There was a baby.
The baby. Oh, okay.
Baby in a backpack with Nerf protectors. It was
Look
great.
At this contraption. It's like a swing.
Yeah, I've seen those. I used to ride them.
But that like comes out of it. It's weird.
Oh.
I don't know. There's a lot of weird things. Look at that. Boom.
Oh. Yeah, I remember the ceiling, the jingle jangles.
Yeah.
They might confuse it for a jellyfish and eat it though. Babies eat jellyfish. They haven't been put in if you don't put them in the Pacific, then they don't get a chance. But they have all the neurological capabilities to and just fucking devour it. Actually, they'll fix the jellyfish overpopulation problem. You just get a bunch of babies in the ocean.
Just jellyfish?
Jellyfish,
specifically jellyfish,
squid, pretty much anything that is tentacly and doesn't look like it belongs on this planet.
Oh, here, I'll show you this. This is cute. Hold on 1 second.
We're about to see cute things, folks. My friend Billy Mays III is about to have a baby, and he's got a cute thing that's going to help with that.
Somebody made us that. So that was fun. Yeah.
Is that's what they say when there's the first twin comes out.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
That'd be nice. 2 of them. So yeah, remember you're dreaming.
I'm super into that.
I had to make my will.
Oh.
In case I die. That was fun. Trying to figure out where my intellectual property goes and stuff like that. Do you have that?
Do I have all of your intellectual property? Yeah.
No. Do you have a plan for your intellectual property?
We've had this conversation. I don't have that. I don't value that. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'd take it. Do it.
What? Who would take it? Anyone?
I mean, I guess I could just write a letter saying here,
It's
take.
actually that no one could take it if you don't tell anyone they can take it. It
Really?
would just be. I mean, I think so. Unless I don't know. Your mom would.
What if I just verbally say now anybody can cover and do anything?
Well, that I think is fine, but I'm saying like to legally
Oh,
like
well, let's see if I mean if
sell your music or
I'm
something.
not selling it yet, so
I think you're selling. Don't you? You have it on Bandcamp or something. You've
no,
received money for your music. I know you have. And even just like a YouTube video that so I care a lot about my intellectual property and my 35 albums and my live sets that are everywhere because I want it to be like existing in a digital museum somewhere in VR one day that my great grandchildren can.
I could be convinced to have that as something that I really care about right now. In fact, I'm already warming up to it.
Well, I had to put in this will this crazy wording of like Katie, my partner, has permission, but it's also if we both die. So I had to word it like there's another person down. And well, even my mom and then another person. And I had to word it as the like literally put the percentages of this person can run my anything that has to do with me digitally and can monetize it on any future platform that doesn't exist yet, as long as it's tastefully done. And then it was like 33% goes to them, 33% goes to charitable organizations, and 33% goes to my daughter that doesn't exist yet. But it was just wild to think about, like, because I'm thinking, I mean, there's a decent amount of money being generated right now from my music and stuff, but maybe in 10 years, 20 years, that'll be a large sum of money that I want to go. I want the right stuff to happen to it. That's how I look at it. And then that includes my YouTube channels and Remember Your Dreaming stuff and anywhere, like anything that I've made that's anywhere. And I don't know. I just care about it a lot. I don't know why.
I would like to too. I guess I haven't made the things yet that I'm proud of for more than a few months. I've had this weird thing where I'm entirely just reinventing the fuck out of myself so much that
I kind of feel that way. I look back at a lot of the things, but I end up like retconning the things. I'll like
retcon.
Yeah, like when you retcon, you've heard that before. Like when
look on my face. No, I haven't.
When Batman's girlfriend gets recast, it's like they retcon what happened. Like it's I don't know if that's how you'd say it.
But I can't stand that. Like Hannibal, the sequel to Silence of the Lambs not having Jodie Foster. That
that's retconning.
Really,
so I retcon my own mythology all the time, and I don't think that many people notice. But I like if I'm not proud of something, I'll kind of take it down, or I'll replace the album cover, or I'll remaster one song and put it back up secretly. So I'm that's how I deal with that. Is like I'm proud that it happened, but I don't think it stands up as well. So I try to fix it up as much as possible. And then like even on Bandcamp, I can make some albums only available to people who pay and subscribe, and then some are just public. So I put like the really shitty ones as, if subscribers really want to dive deep and see the garbage that I've produced and released.
Yeah, I guess it's not that I'm ashamed of things that I've done in the past. It's just it's really just that my main focus for a while, and this is how I'm fucking like changing by circumstance now. Is I was just all about like, oh man, I'm better live. Like, wait till you see have the live thing happen because it's so fucking real. It's me just like fucking having a manic episode on stage. That's where I exist.
I get that.
And now I haven't been denied that. I guess I'm thinking about it more.
Well, for me, those are my two personas: is things that I make in the privacy of my mind, and then they come out in a different way. So whether it's like my book of like poetry and stuff, or these weird visual videos and albums and instrumental music, my music's completely different from my live set. But my live version is like my nonsense, man. It's like free for all. This is happening now. It's very alive. But the other stuff is like kind of for everybody because it's accessible. It's a song. It's an album. It's like you understand what it is. But my live set is like a 4-hour possible experience of psychedelic empowerment that maybe isn't for everybody, but if you're there, it's for you.
Yeah.
Which I do miss. I do really miss, being in a room with 20, 25, 30 people and just doing like a really immersive Infinite Third set.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
We're having a nonsense night this Saturday, and I think that it might end up being there might be one more in October because we can do that outside. But yeah, it does seem like there's a strong likelihood of just and no concert events, or maybe we'll find a way to innovate. I don't know. You know what? What's really really great is whenever we start doing this shit where we're trying to predict what happens in a month, it's like stop that.
Yeah.
Like you have like your little loose plans and whatnot, but no, we really have to be figuring this out as we go along, and you can have some really long term plans with this idea of when this changes. I'm really sick of the hearing. Let me rephrase that. It displeases me. No, I don't want to my own mouth to anymore say when things go back to normal.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck we mean by that.
Yeah. I don't think anyone who has their head wrapped around what's happening is thinking like that anymore. But I think there was definitely in the first couple months, people were like, oh, we'll just wait it out. But that was part of the whole thing of like, I felt so good about the decision to just decide I'm a home person now for the foreseeable future, even if it's next year. I don't go back out as in like a normal way. And there was I think it's like a John McCain thing. Didn't John McCain say when he was a prisoner of war that he was like, the only way out of it is if you don't expect or like predict when you're going to be rescued, and you just kind of like get used to it. This is your reality now. And the people who would like go crazy were thinking, oh, one more week and we're gonna get out of here. And then they'd build it all up, and then their morale would drop again when they didn't get rescued.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like that's like a Buddhist-y thing too.
yeah, it is. But I think John McCain is probably wiser than Buddha.
Definitely Buddha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I initially it was my greatest achievement yet, personally, internally, psycho-spiritually, if you will, of transmuting a crisis into like when it first happened, all I was seeing was silver linings. It's like, oh, it's very unfortunate that how much the suffering and literal death and just discomfort, disease this is causing in my world. But I have it seems like my move to isolate that is the thing that we must do, at least while the hospitals are overwhelmed. And it was just very much occurring to me all these ways in which, like, oh my God, I was never going to do this, and I needed this. We said this a bunch at the beginning of the podcast.
That's okay.
But now it is the thought that I had recently that was like a really, like, this is some responsible try to be a pillar in my community stuff. I'll attempt to articulate it now. Of like, so there's some of us who have our lives in such a situation, or our minds are, once again, psycho-spiritually, if you will, like, are in a place to not just weather this, or to like thrive in a personal way, of like an opportunistic way of like, some are just see the economic opportunities, but like to be stable and to be a pillar of reassurance for our family and our community. Because I mean, if you have that card to play, then strive for authenticity as much as possible. But like, I don't know, I was doing a lot of publicly, like, I was getting scared there. And now I notice that it's like I have my times of warranted anxiety, and I think that it would be weird not to at times. But a lot of the time I'm feeling very like, wired myself to have comfort with chaos. And a lot of folks don't have that, and they're just worried about change. I'm not worried about change.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like how can we be helpful doing exactly what we're doing of doing art therapy and communication and yeah, I have this percentage amount of time where I'm excited and this sliver that it's like, whoa, what the fuck are we gonna do? This is, but it really just comes down to it's gonna be different. Stuff's gonna be different forever.
Well, I think you and I were uniquely already living a pretty flexible lifestyle of like, whatever.
Yeah, I never knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. So if anything, this is more stable because it's like there aren't that many options. Yeah, I definitely feel that. But I think also there it's important to not just be like, this is the like that spiritual bypassing type positivity.
Yeah.
I think it's important to not do that. And I was even probably guilty of it at first of like, no, this is the thing we've been waiting for. But then at the same time, like everybody's grandparents are dying and like, it just didn't
not
make
everybody. I know somebody who left. That was dark. But yeah, no, I get exactly what you're saying. And I caught myself with that at the beginning, but at first it was interpersonal. And that's why it fucked me up when things got social again. Cause it was like, whoa, when I am isolated and with me, it's like, I really found that there is this zen of even the weirdest circumstances. But then as soon as I have to like hear the cacophony of this, and I've got to like, and my worldview is made up of a lot of other a cacophony of talking heads and different perspectives of things, which I want to factor in as many perspectives if I can, even the ridiculous ones, just to know that that's out there, So I'm taking more reality in on a daily basis than I almost ever have, just in terms of the media that I'm consuming and just really trying to get a foothold, grounded in this reality as much as possible. I love this metaphor that I really understand now I recently learned to stand to do the one wheel. And I thought that I would never learn to snowboard or skateboard or anything, because every time I've tried, it's just like, I'm not getting this at all. And now, like, I feel like I get it now. It's like you're planting on this, you're getting your feet planted on the ground enough that you can have stability and control to jump and fly and turn and,
I'm not good at the one wheel yet.
I just learned it yesterday.
Wow. You don't have one, do you?
No, but with a universal basic income of $1,000 a month, I totally would.
Yeah, totally.
But maybe I should only be able to buy groceries with that though, because I'm a peasant.
Yeah. Lowly.
Slowly. Has been my intention lately with change in myself, is that I want to be a slower operating system.
Yeah. I feel like it's happened naturally for me, but I also feel like I'm getting older.
Really?
With time, I'm getting older. It's weird.
That is odd. Well, I hear that the baby, the presence of baby child has a youthening effect.
Oh, really?
On those who rise to, I can imagine that.
I don't know.
I'm excited for you for the things that I am excited about when I think of the possibility of parenthood one day, because there's so much stuff that, oh my God.
Do you think of it? I think we've talked about it before, but like where you stand now?
That it would require the existence and meeting and communicating a cooperative thing with someone who would not necessarily co-create. We could go in. We could as they say, get one, adopt.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, and that would require this meeting of this alchemy to even start really having the consideration. Because if I just think about,
well, what's your stance on that at the moment?
I don't know. I don't know.
Good. That's okay. Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's a big component of it for sure, but you could technically just you could find a a donation womb that someone could incubate a child for you, and you could receive that child, and then it could be just yours. You don't need a second one. A second.
At what point in gestation is it injected into my uterus so that I can finish it off?
Well, you could probably do that too, but we would need a couple months of UBI saved up
Yeah,
to
that's
make
true.
that, get on CRISPR. I don't know if that's a thing, but stem cells are. I'm just saying buzzwords about health at this point. I find it fascinating, just in like a way that I don't want to like I don't want to solidify the thoughts too much, but the observations when you learn about birth and the body and what's happening, and the observations of how we're just these like this like the opposite version of the same thing, these sexes, you know, and then there's all gender is a different thing, but uh just the idea that like I'm learning just intuitively that the parts that are in the woman are like in the man but the opposite, or in the male and the female, that you have the opposite parts and they activate each other just the same way like a flower and another then the pollination happens, like that's happening. And in that sense we're kind of just like we fit together in that way. So that part's crazy. It's just like we all kind of start out as the female, and then the parts grow into either the one that is the one or the one that's the zero. And then the one and the zero meet and they make a new one that's a one or a zero.
Or all the in-betweensies. I've
Well,
had this.
yeah, I think I kind of fall in the part of like it's mostly the one and the zero physically, but then the in betweensies there's like infinite, and that's all in the psychospiritual realm and very valid.
Yeah, and it's so much more what you lean into. I'm finding that more and more. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to watch into a whole
This wasn't supposed to be a gender
possibility.
discourse.
I have to go into a tangent about it, considering like, is it possible for me to what's the word that I'm looking, cultivate homosexual desires and aspirations and aspire to one day being able to engage in such exchanges, activities in an organic and authentic way. Was there just a period of time where I was told as I was developing mind and overall being that you just shouldn't, that for whatever reason. So I just didn't go and develop. Can we cultivate? That episode of Black Mirror, Viper Strike, changed my.
I
changed
love that episode
on gender. Oh my god! And then I went to California, and I noticed that when I would see what I would perceive as a beautiful woman, it wasn't, my knee jerk reaction wasn't, oh, I want to be with her. It was, I want to be her.
Yeah. I've definitely felt that a lot, and having been told, like, probably until I was out of high school, like it was just shown to me that I could never entertain a thought that's not the normal thoughts you have about women, or which are actually twisted thoughts of like just horniness and stuff. But I do feel that over the past like 10 years I've recognized a big portion of attraction to women is some version of like really wishing I could be that woman. I definitely resonate with that in some weird way. I also think we're told. I think we're told that I think that really fucked us up. People like you and me being raised a certain way, not by anyone's fault, but just society's fault, I guess. But just like we don't know what we would have been like had we not had that level of manipulation just in the periphery of our existence.
Yeah. And then I like to at least consider, just for the sake of looking at different perspectives, and like what the the like elementally archetypally conservative viewpoint on getting too fluid and too wavy gravy and just being able to try around, fuck around, and find out anything, is that maybe there's other problems on the other extremity of that, of having no rails. But I'm sure that I've suffered from the being a cage and not a scaffolding. My understandings of sex and gender and stuff. And when and just seeing that, I had those thoughts, like everything, the Black Mirror Viper Strike episode, like those just, it was just like, whoa, these are thoughts that are being, had on a screen in front of me, but are now out in the collective conscious more. And it was just like, whoa, what would I do if I didn't have to commit? What? Yeah. Like, has there been so many, there's so many passing thoughts, and some of them sometimes I just write off thoughts as invasive thoughts that are actually things that should never be manifested into behaviors. I used to play Grand Theft Auto and just go on rampages. I don't think I'm a rampage guy, but when there was no consequences, it was just like, oh, I'll fucking try it out. Also, what does this game allow me to do? Blow shit up and kill people. That's like, so, like I don't just do that on a Thursday at the market, but like now I'm playing this game and that's what you do. I know I'm supposed to go and fight these particular gangsters and get this package to this place, but I'm going to fuck around and find out, if there was infinite virtual reality allowed to do everything, this is what I was thinking, right? Like, I think that we figured this out yesterday. It's like, this is how we end a lot of like the really dark crime stuff. Is so everybody has VR and everybody is able to fuck around and find out, do whatever in that, and then they would just keep tabs on who's doing really, really weird, malicious, sociopathic shit. And if you're doing that too often, then it's like you receive a letter like, hey, you're spending a little bit too much time in fucking Dungeon World.
I wonder if it's the quantity though of how often they do it, because like, I don't know, maybe if they're doing it that often, the darker thing isn't that keeping it from happening in the real world? No, I agree with that.
You send a robot therapist to your door, or a human therapist, and it's just like, hey, can we talk about how much?
Yeah.
You're spending a lot of time running around as a minotaur, just beheading everything you see. Like,
yeah. Well, there's a whole conversation there about. I'm sure you guys got into that, but about sexual deviance.
Yeah. That's where it's at.
Yeah, and that's a big thing.
And it's just like, so maybe you try something weird, one weird Thursday night. I think that's a lot of reason why some people are like, do we order a pizza or a crack?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, tonight I'm just, I'm having a real gunslinging night. I'm thinking I'm gonna try crack. Okay. And then some people that becomes the whole thing in their life, and some people it's like, okay, I know about that.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Protect your but anyway, back to the thing that is a lot more wholesome than where we were going with that, which obviously, those thought tangents are now happening in the brain, and anybody who's listening, depending on how dark your brain usually goes. But yeah, the Viper Strike Black Mirror episode, I was just immediately like, man, we're out here forcing each other to form identities out of behavior stuff, and my behaviors would be maybe all the fuck over the place if I felt like I could just try everything out with no consequences. And that's the argument to be made for it, is like, maybe we would have, just like we were talking about, like some people I'm sure would really, really like to be able to put a bunch of propane tanks up in a forest and just do shooting practice. And it's like, but you can't do that. That's a real forest that has consequences. There are bears, But in VR, it's just like, do whatever you want. You want to do that?
Yeah. Have you done VR recently?
I haven't gotten too deep into it. Really, actually,
it changed my life when I did it, for sure.
Really,
it was like DMT levels of time distillation for me. I came out of it like I couldn't look at everything right. I was like, why is time moving the way that it is here? I don't know. It was good. I got to shoot zombies. That was like too stressful, the zombie shooting.
Oh yeah.
But the I really enjoyed just for like goofing around. You can fly around Google Earth and you can just like go to houses and stuff. Like you can't go in them or anything, but you can like
Uh,
fly from every city to any city. Um,
Can you
but
see me sunbathing naked outside in between my mom's RV and the house?
no, not live. But
Okay.
if you happen to be out doing that when they took the satellite imagery, then yeah. uh, but there was this one game. Well, there's the game you might have seen where people can make 3D like art. It's like a Google Paintbrush or something. You can make these sculptures in the digital 3D space, and they can do things like animate, and you could put music in them, and then anyone can go to that space and like flip the art around and look at it from all angles and shrink it and go inside of it. And you're making this with like hands, and it's just like it's a lot. But there was this one game called, I don't know what it's called, but it was like these primitive looking animations of people, but you just like awaken in a room, and there's three, five, however many people, and they shoot guns. But time only moves when you move. So you get in the room and you're just like this, and everything's frozen. But as soon as you start moving, bullets start flying at you, and you have to kind of like puzzle your way through with your body and like figure out how to avoid physically these bullets while your physical body moves time. And I think that was the one that fucked up my like space time
Yeah.
module, because I got
It
out and
really
it was
intense Max Payne. Remember Max Payne game?
yeah, and it was like the full on version of that, where I got out of it and I was like aware that my physical movement moved time as well, or they were the same thing, kind
Mm.
of.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't
well,
imagine. That was 2 years ago. I can't imagine what they're doing now. It's probably
my slowing down goal for my that is gonna be called meditative practice, or just like what I want to be doing with my brain consciousness stuff is like I have really prioritized. Like I really think that it would benefit my life, my self, my those around me, my community, and perhaps even the world in some psychomagical way, if there is such a that. Then, but anyway, to slow down, like.
mhm.
And because I think that that's what we could all benefit so much right now. I've noticed that we only fuck shit up really intensely when we go fast and sporadic,
Yeah.
that's something when the shit gets all over the place. If we're just, then,
Well,
if you make a mistake, you just,
and it's just like anything else. Like when you do the new thing, it like it's almost like people who are addicted to movement and forcing things and controlling things, and when they slow down and stop controlling things, it actually creates more turmoil for a brief time, and then you get rewarded with all this new chemicals and new time perception qualities. Uh, but I think that that might be what you're talking about, is that even some people probably do try to slow down, but it actually creates more turmoil for a moment. And they're like, oh, I can't slow down. It'll just make me think about my fear of, a minotaur cutting off my head.
yeah. There's that is one of those things that, man, is you think, I used to be I don't know if I was being, how much I was being it in the world. Maybe I criticized myself a little bit too much, but I used to have a lot of my thoughts taken up with, God damn it, if people could just,
Yeah.
if more people could if they just, and people just should, and how can I get them
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
know?
I don't, I can't, I stopped. I look at it like the driving metaphor. Like I actually got in a wreck one time. I rented a couple from Canada, and I was in a rental car, and I got like really scared of this. I was like, man, I could have just like murdered these people because I wasn't paying attention or whatever. But I did one of those things where you take a defensive driving course to get your ticket lower, your price. Yeah, have you ever heard that? You
Yeah,
get
yeah.
your fine. Yeah. So I did that, and it like changed my life. I'm such a defensive driver now, but now I look at life like that too. I'm like, I'm not trying to criticize how people drive. I'm just gonna like hang back and like get to where I need to go safely.
Yeah. That's the freedom. That's the yeah. To finish the thought about, I used to think spend so much time and energy and emotional energy on I wish people would just do this, or I
Yeah,
wish,
yeah.
or at least the people around me would just do this. And one of them was, I wish people did more self, inflection stuff. People who don't want to slow down and sit in the silence, like, God damn it, I wish they would just do that. It's so beneficial. God damn, take 5 grams silent darkness and know thyself. And now this thing has happened where so many people have been super duper forced to that. And now all those thoughts of, I wish they would just do it, is gone. And it's more of like, oh man, how can I help people get more out of that? Does anybody, like, I don't know. I don't have like good advice per se, but I've been doing that for a while. And I know when it's helpful and when it is just ruminating, and like, oh yeah, like there's been that's a thing that's violently been fluctuating in me, going from my most compassionate, like the most feeling and just having a compassionate consciousness, to these times of just like, whoa, damn, it sucks that it's going to have to be every turtle for themselves now. I definitely don't want to lean into that.
Yeah.
And the every turtle and the self thing and the getting really anxious about things, that happens when I go fast, mostly for me.
Yeah. Did you feel that when things started happening in the world with coronas?
If it was just, we're not going to go into this second thing, but if it was just the pandemic, not to say just, but if it was just the pandemic and the complete reorganization of the world economy and pretty much how we humanity, that's not it's that paired with this election-esque thing that's coming up in America, and what will follow regardless of the outcome. Those things paired, I wish to be as comforting as possible, and if it comes to it, strategic, and let's all be super duper safe. And that's the signal that I want to be in my community, and just in general during this time. But there's waves of worry. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was part of my. I felt like by going into my house and saying I'm just not going to be part of the world for a while, I felt like I was kind of opting out for a little bit, and I was like, well, I'm all right, so that's
No,
all that
you're opting in.
matters.
You're having a child. You're opting in.
But that's what I meant. Like, if for a moment, for a bit, it felt like all I care about is me and my family, and we're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of what you do anyway.
You're having a kid.
Right?
You're having a
Yeah.
kid. You're
Yeah.
that is that to me is always, that is the most important thing a person can do.
I guess.
Once
It's one of the things. I don't know.
once you're doing it, I think once you're doing it,
Once you're doing it.
you have the potential to. You are, not to put any more pressure on you, Billy, but you're able to be, making a million micro decisions every moment that are going to formulate what this new person in our global community could become.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I think, we have no idea the limitations or lack thereof of what a human being is capable of if they're encouraged,
Yeah.
and allowed.
True.
So yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate having being able to
Yeah.
talk to you. I think this was the amount
This
of
has
time.
been really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd love to do it again sometime. Let's not no promises, no demands, but
I'm
yeah,
committed. I'm
yeah.
committed to doing it again.
Me the fuck too. Okay.
But for real though, like, do you just randomly do them all the time?
Yeah, I've been doing that random, but I think that if I were to go to, say, like a Twitch or somewhere, or do it for Patreon,
Yeah.
folks, then it would be best to schedule.
Yeah.
Really, this has been the nature of the moment of it's been really hard to get people to commit to doing things at certain times,
Yeah.
and also to get myself to. So it's like, when we talked earlier, it's like 5 p.m. It's like, oh, let's make that 5:30.
Yeah.
Like that's like kind of the nature of just the now moment.
It is.
But yeah, also it's
Well,
draw, aim, and fire. So
if you do the Twitch thing, I'm learning that there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Like, I could have people watching my stream and then at the end of my stream they call it a raid, and everyone from my stream goes to your stream.
Great. Let's do
It's
that.
in progress. So like
Okay,
there's
let's do
there's
that.
stuff like that you can do. It's kind of fun.
Let's do
But,
that. When you got one coming up that you feel strongly about that you would like to have a conversation after, let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All
Either
right.
way, just hit me up if you want to talk about the Twitch thing or anything off the record, you know.
Got it. Oh yeah, I got lots of stuff to say. That sorry, everybody. I absolutely am not going to utter publicly.
Sorry, everybody. You're missing out.
Yeah, those deep cuts. Okay. Well, happy reality, Billy. Preemptive congratulations. Let's talk before you become a father, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully. I mean, it could happen tomorrow. So this could be the talk.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, we're holding in the baby right now because we got 2 more days of Virgo, and we want a Libra. So.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah.
I know nothing about that.
All right.
All right. Happy reality. Remember you're dreaming. Bye, Billy.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Should I really get off of here or?
You don't gotta.